Now we'll finish our Android application by adding the functionality so that when you click on the Book Now button, the device's browser will open up. Below all the rest of your code in detailview.java, inside of the onCreate method, type the following code. The first step is to declare a button object. So data type it to a button, and then we'll call this just button, and we'll set it equal to, and we'll use the parentheses and type button in the parentheses, and after the parentheses, find view by ID, just like we've done before. And in the parentheses for find view by ID, type r.id.button. We go to the next line, and we'll type button.set on click listener. Now in the parentheses, we pass in a method to handle what happens when the button is clicked. So in here, we'll type new space view, capital V, dot on click listener. Beginning of each word will be capitalized. And if I follow the code hinting by pressing enter or return, then Eclipse actually writes out that whole method for me. Now I'm getting this red X right here because I don't have a semicolon, so I'll put that at the end after the close parenthesis. And in here, in onClick, we can handle the click event. So we want to open up that URL. And we already have that saved in our URL property. So what we do is we just create a new intent, and that intent's going to be a new browser window, and then we just run start activity passing that intent in, and the browser window should open up just fine. So intent with capital I, and we'll call this browser intent, capital I. And we'll set it equal to a new intent, and in the parentheses we're going to pass in intent with capital I dot action underscore view, and the next parameter is going to be URI with capital U dot parse, and then it asks for a URI string, which is going to be that URL that we created in this class. So we just pass that in, and then all we have to do is run start activity, passing in browser intent, capital I, and that's it. So when you click the button, it'll open up the appropriate URL in the device's default browser. So let's just save this, and then we'll click run, and I'll just wait for a minute for the application to start up. Now since we used a snapshot for the emulator, you might see a previous version of the app before the current version loads in. So you might have to wait an extra second or two. And then here I'll just click one of the elements in the list, and then I can see all of the description data. I can click the Book Now button, and I should see the device's browser open up with the appropriate URL. So here I have this blank window. You can see that a URL is opening, and it does start with Explore California. And there we go. And if you want to go back, of course, you can click the back button. And we go back to the previous activity. And we can go back again to the main list view. So our application is now finished, and we successfully created an Android port of our application. So with that, we've created an application for the web, for the desktop, and for Android. Remember that when you need to handle a button click on Android, you need to call the button set on click listener method, and then you create a new on click listener, and you can just write the code to handle the event in line.